Cars like this are driven daily, to work, to home, and to dinner. But this convenience doesn't come without a cost. The US EPA website states that more than 1/5 of the CO2 emissions in the US are contributed by cars and trucks alone. In 2013, transportation contributed to more than half of the CO2 emissions in the atmosphere, meaning carbon monoxide and nitrous oxide, and approximately 1/4 of the hydrocarbons in our atmosphere today. One car's total CO2 emissions is equivalent to 11 average human beings. This means there's an extra 11 billion people in our world today, which all contribute to this problem. One car's total lifetime CO2 emissions is equivalent to 4.7 metric tons, and that all goes into our atmosphere. This extreme increase of CO2 completely throws off the carbon cycle and the atmospherical balance of natural gases. This affects the atmosphere in ways that are almost incomprehensible, but scientists believe that extra CO2 will create an overall increase in heat in the atmosphere, causing global warming and the melting of glaciers, which will rise the sea levels and basically drown coastside cities such as Sydney.
When fossil fuels like petrol or diesel are burned, they give off carbon dioxide, which is the main climate change gas. Heavy cars with big engines use a lot of fuel per distance traveled, releasing more CO2 and worsening climate change.
As well as these machines polluting the atmosphere, they also need a source of fuel. Trillions of liters of fuel are being pulled from the ground continuously, and it's destroying the ground it's being pulled from. Research by the Institute of Energy reveals that 71% of all the US's oil is used for transportation means: diesel, gasoline, and jet fuel. Harvesting oil deposits disrupt major bodies of land where native animal life lives. These homes are destroyed by creating roads in order to transport large machinery to these oil depots, and the terrain is ruined and never used again after the oil is extracted. Trees are a major factor which prevent an overall global increase in heat, with one mature tree being able to absorb 48 pounds of carbon dioxide per year. It seems we have nothing to worry about. But with deforestation and the high demand for wood in construction, this prevents them from protecting us in the long term. Even if trees are able to have an intake of this proportion, they still need a balance of water and nutrients in order to grow and thrive as big as massive trees. This would mean bigger trees for birds to hide in and have bigger families. This seems like a good idea, but you have to take into account the natural reservoirs and other pieces of land being destroyed beneath. Land that belongs to other trees, such as this massive tree here. Land plants and the ocean have taken up 55% of the carbon, and the other 45% is left in the atmosphere.
And over the past 250 years, aquatic acidity has had an overall increase of 30% due to 530 billion tons of carbon dioxide having been absorbed into the ocean, and will soon double if we continue today's rate of burning fossil fuels. This will cause ocean waters to become corrosive, meaning oysters, lobsters, and mussels shells will begin to corrode in ocean waters, destroying the protection from prey and their overall lifetime, destroying a major food source in the process. Although there are many theories about global warming being true or false, strong evidence proves that global warming is an actual phenomenon. There has been an overall increase in temperature of about 0.85 degrees Celsius since 1880 and 2012. This may not seem like a lot, but when you take into account this is a global rise in temperature that every continent and country has contributed towards the warming of the land, oceans, and atmosphere, we can see that it's quite a big increase.
Cars deposit massive amounts of CO2 emissions into our atmosphere every year, and the number's only increasing. With simple solutions, we can avoid catastrophic problems in the future, such as riding your bike home, taking the bus to work, or even taking your bike. All these are simple solutions to help in the future. With the four spheres, lithosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and the atmosphere all relying on a balance, it's hard to tell what will happen in the future once they're all thrown off.